Welcome to the Cops, Criminals, and Christ podcast, where we will hear interesting stories and unique perspectives about the work of cops, the world of criminals, and how faith plays a role in the lives of both. Dale Sutherland was an undercover cop and a pastor for many years and will share interesting stories and perspectives and interview guests. I'm your host, his daughter, Kristen Crew. Come join us to learn more about these powerful forces and how they shape the lives of people just like you. Let's dive in. Welcome back to the Cops, Criminals, and Christ podcast. On this episode, we're letting you kind of see behind the veil of a conversation that we had talking about Dale, my dad's ADHD brain and faith and how that impacted his role as an undercover police officer and just his life and the differences we have and how we kind of navigate that tension. So thanks for being here. We welcome you along to kind of dive in. Like, comment, subscribe, and we can continue this conversation there. We should dive into some of these quirks. Let people know about
it's
you.
Wisdom is smart.
OCD.
I'm just smart.
And do you ever mind if I mention your ADHD brain?
Obviously, ADHD. If any listener doesn't know that, there's something wrong with them. They're crazy.
Well, I didn't know if I should call it out or not.
Yeah, no.
Okay, because it is a big part of...
It is a big part.
No, really. That is a big part of you taking risk and...
Yeah.
You know?
Some of my life, if you look at the double, if you look at the double thing, the police and the pastor, right? It sounds so weird. But the truth is, for those of us that are ADD, ADHD, I don't know which I am, we always are doing this. Right now, I have 5 different things going, 2 businesses, and the ministry. So honestly, people say, what are you doing? I'm always like, well, you got a minute? Because it's going to take a while. It's always been that way. When I was in Bible college, I had 3 jobs to work my way through Bible college.
Yeah.
Now, did I need 3 jobs? Obviously not.
Yeah.
People work 1 job and go to Bible college. So this is obviously a pattern that I didn't realize until I was in my 50s.
Right. Yeah. No, I think there's so much to dive into with that because it's interesting how even the part of like sometimes the ADHD brain lacks dopamine, so you're looking for hits and you're doing it in a healthy way. You're serving all these people in ministries, or the hyper-focus side of like you get really focused on something, you can pull this whole organization together and then hyper-focus somewhere else, pull it together. But what you've done well at is getting a team in each place. Like you can run, start, and manage all of them by yourself. Everywhere you go, you're able to like bring people along to kind of pick up pieces as you do the higher level start, run, and they're like working on the details to make it happen.
Everything's cool about what you're saying, except when you refer to my drug career, do not say I'm looking for hits of dopamine. Hits means something different.
I know,
to us.
but
just trying to make sure
but
you understand.
That is, I understand.
You don't want me out looking for hits. That's a bad idea.
But I
hit of this. No, I know.
I do think
no, it's absolutely right. It applies, and you're right. I mean, all these kind people that have helped me all my life. Even now, I have a team. Sandy and all these wonderful folks that help me. Without them, let's face it, I'm in the sewer. Without my wonderful wife, Patty, keeping life together for the last 39 years, we got married in June. That poor woman, what she's had to put up with.
Yeah, I think it's all interesting. But it is like in the brain, hit is the wrong term. But
hit in the drug world.
No, I could talk about this forever because I do think it's fascinating and helps people understand why you are the way you are, what you've done, how they might be different.
That's right. I think so much of our time, we might listen to something like this. And you're a stay-at-home mom, and you're doing this, and then you think, oh, well, I guess I should have another job, and I guess I should be doing. No, you shouldn't. That's just me. I'm weird, and with our ADHD stuff, we're always doing that. What did that mean? I did those things less effectively than probably you do with the one thing you're doing. You know what I mean? So I was always boom, boom, boom stuff, and there's that doesn't always work. Let's be honest.
Yeah, there's great things to it, but
there's great things to it.
Yeah,
but let's be for real. It didn't always work. Let's face it, a lot of my biggest gaps were because of ADHD.
Yeah.
In my career, too.
But
Who loses a tape?
ADHD.
Yeah.
But I also think it helps you, like when I asked you how you move forward, some of us can ruminate and cower back and things like that. And to you, you're able, with somewhat your brain's natural tendency, and then all the work you've done spiritually and things like that, to keep going on to the next thing, to not sit too long, to just keep going. And you're so busy and your brain's so full that you just have to keep moving.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Yes. Because for me, remember also, we have tons of anxiety. We get more depressed and things like that. So I've had depression in my life too. So if I don't watch it, juggling too many things and then something goes bad, I could be really bothered by it. You know what I mean? I
Right.
could over worry about much of my Christian life, even,
Yes.
like this makes it sound like everything's cool in my Christian, but it's not.
Right.
I'm walking with Jesus. I'm fighting the good fight like Paul. And there's many days you're like, oh, what have I done? I think it is the work of Jesus in your spirit, but also he's given me this personality that helps me to kind of like not linger.
Yeah. Because
know
I
what
do
I mean?
think you carry more stress than the average person.
Yeah.
Like, even though you keep going, you do have stress from all of this.
Yeah.
And sometimes, like, as you seek these super exciting things in work and ministry, that is still kind of a stress on us. Sometimes our brain doesn't always differentiate happy stress and, stressful stress.
Yeah.
And so it would be remiss to say there wasn't stress that came with doing so much and
Man,
managing so
there's a ton of stress, and I live on stress.
Yeah.
One of the worst things to me, honestly, you want to send me to a horrible week, is make me go to the beach and lay around, or make me go to a vacation and not do anything. Say you can't have your phone, you can't have your computer, you can't talk. Oh my gosh.
No, this is true. I don't
would be a
think we
bad thing.
ever went on a vacation growing up that wasn't attached also to a missional, attached to a mission.
Yeah.
And I might have a few pictures of you on the beach with us, but I mean, I don't feel deprived from that. That's not a big deal, but it is a part of you. Yeah. That you're like, going to the beach.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
It was my brain though that drove it. I used to think it was just, what's the matter with people? They want to sit around for a week,
Yes.
I used to really think it. So that's the other thing. Whoever you are, you're judgmental of the other guy. I can't tell you how many guys told me I was a dismal failure because I wanted to do 10 things. Even now.
Yeah.
I mean, when they say, Dale, you got to, and I can remember this. I can remember elders at our church telling me, you can't do all the things you're doing. And me saying back to them, no, you can't do all the things I'm doing. Because that's all we're doing. I do the same thing. I'm to the guy who does one thing. I'm like, man, you can do more than this. Pick up the pieces. Come on. Let's roll.
That is your MO for sure.
that's
It's
wrong.
feeling
That's
like
wrong, too.
people aren't doing enough.
Yeah, what's the matter with them? They all
But
are.
it is interesting to view, and we'll end on this, but it's interesting to view. I try to picture how the Lord views each person, and we're all so differently made, and what he expects or requires of brains that work so different. Like we see some people that we love dearly that don't walk linearly in ways that, and the Lord loves them the same. Or people like you, this high capacity, go, and you're like, this is the way that is best.
Yes.
And then people that are slow moving, and the Lord loves them just the same. And what he requires of them is interesting because, like you said, we can put things on people that the Lord designed them and knows their weaknesses.
That's right.
So what do you think? He's just requiring holiness for sure, and everyone is what he's asking.
I mean, that's why it is really good. As you talk about this, one thing that comes to mind is I think that this sounds really foreign to us as religious people, as Christian people, that there needs to be an accepting of yourself. In other words, we're trying to change and get better. I want to be a better husband. I want to be a better dad. I want to be a better grandfather. I want to be a better man than I am. So I'm scared if you hear me say, but I love myself the way I am. That sounds wrong to us because we're, the Lord is sanctifying us in the process. But I would say self-love can be a very misused term because if it means that I'm not going to change, I'm happy with the way I am, then I think it's foolish whether religious or not. I mean, everybody needs to be kinder and the Lord wants to do more with you. But at the same time, there needs to be an accepting of how Jesus made me. That's what I think the real issue is. And if he made you with your body a certain way, let's accept it instead of feeling mad about it your whole life. And in the same way, if I have these ADHD struggles, I really have to accept, hey, look, take it or leave it. That's what
wired.
You got. Yeah. It's not, I don't want to represent myself. I could go through 3 interviews and convince you I'm a linear thinker. You know what I mean? I could lie through the interviews, but that isn't me. And if I'm going to honor the Lord, appreciate the way he made me. Jesus, you made me this way. Let's go in here and tell these folks what's up and see if they want to work with me or not.
Yeah, I think it makes more of God to know our finiteness and our intricate design of we are made in his image. So there are these incredible things about each of us and also these really flawed things about each of us. And he is with us in all of it and using all of it. So
I saw for John 3:2 last night, we were talking about that. There's coming a day, we shall see him. And when we see him, we will be like him. We will be those who trust Christ for their salvation will actually be like the Lord Jesus. We're in his image now, but then we're going to be just like the Lord Jesus. 1 Corinthians 13. We shall know even as we are known. I'm going to know as much as Jesus knows about me. What? That's the promise of heaven.
Thanks for tuning in to today's episode. If you enjoyed this discussion and the content we have, we encourage you to hit subscribe, hit that notification bell, follow along on all our social channels at The Undercover Pastor, and then we can keep bringing you these stories, insights, and kind of the combination of law enforcement and faith and how it combines in Dale's life. So make sure to follow along, and we'll see you next time.